Hey Connor, how you doing?
Good.
You ready for Thanksgiving?
Yep.
All right. Well, we're gonna read about Thanksgiving, and then we're gonna decide if they ate turkey at Thanksgiving or not.
Okay.
All right. Here you go. You can film me for a second and switch it. All right. So how you doing, guys? It's Mr. Gately. We're gonna read to you from the bed. We're just gonna have fun. I'm in my bedroom, and we're gonna be reading about the first Thanksgiving, and if they ate turkey or not. So first it starts out with we're going to read about some older Thanksgivings, but they didn't have the meal in America. Then we'll read about the Thanksgiving meal and if they ate turkey or not. You get to write an opinion if they ate turkey or not. That's all you have to do today. Yes, they ate turkey. No, they ate turkey, and defend it. There's some videos that suggest they didn't have turkey. I'm going to tell you, I think they ate turkey. Turkey is the most popular fowl in America. You're going to read that Edward Winslow writes about fowl. Governor Bradford and Winslow both wrote how there was tons of turkeys that year around here. And you live around here. You know how many turkeys there are here. It's crazy. There was even some reports, someone said that turkeys are hard to hunt because they move fast. Are you really? Have you seen them? They just sit there. Oh, I don't know. All right, I'm just saying. I just see them, and sometimes they do move fast. Sometimes, but sometimes they just sit there.
Yeah.
All right, so this is my opinion. I think they did eat turkeys because there's no evidence they didn't. I must admit, there is no evidence that they definitely did either. So you can make your call either way on that. All right. So, but I don't like how one of the History Channel's videos said they didn't eat turkey definitively. I don't agree with that. They might not have. I'll agree with that. But you guys get to make your decision. I'm not grading yes or no. I'm grading your defense on how well you defend your answer. All right. That's what I'm looking for. Okay, Connor. So film it. I'm going to read. Giving thanks. The story that the first American Thanksgiving was held at Plymouth Colony is a real turkey. In 1540, long before the Pilgrims sat down to their big dinner, Francisco Vasquez de Coronado, we learned about Coronado, and his men conducted a Thanksgiving service in their camp at Palo Duro Canyon in what is now known as the Texas Panhandle. Half a century before the Pilgrims landed, French Huguenots settled near today's Jacksonville, Florida. They sang a psalm of thanksgiving unto God, beseeching him to continue his accustomed goodness toward us. Unfortunately for the French, the goodness did not continue. Their colony was wiped out by Spanish raiders. Still, some Floridians claim that as the first American Thanksgiving. A group of English Catholics arrived in Maine in 1605, said prayers of thanks, faced the year of Maine weather, changed their minds about living in America, and sailed back to England. But some maniacs, yes, that's what they are called, say their state had the first Thanksgiving. 2 years before the feast in Massachusetts, the settlers at Berkeley Hundred on the James River in Virginia decreed that the day of their landing, December 4th, 1619, shall be yearly and perpetually kept holy as a day of thanksgiving. Did they have a feast? Depends on whom you ask at Berkeley Plantation. There is no documented record of one. Now, to give the Pilgrims their due, they did eat a big meal, and one of them, Edward Winslow, wrote 6 sentences about it. None of the other claimants can say that. Those Pilgrims needed a good meal. Fewer than half of the 102 passengers who came on the Mayflower in 1620 survived their first American winter. The local Indians weren't in good shape either. They had been hard hit, by diseases brought by French fishermen who had made contact 4 years earlier. The English colonists wouldn't have survived at all, and they knew it, if it hadn't been for corn and other help from the Indians. And Massasoit was forever grateful to Winslow, who had made a nourishing broth that helped him recover from a serious illness. Goodwill, necessity, and plain good sense seemed to have made them all good neighbors. So, when harvest time arrived in 1621, the Pilgrims had much to be thankful for. They'd made a start at the beaver trade. They lived in peace with the Native Americans. 11 houses had been built, and thanks to Squanto, the corn harvest was good. They had celebrated harvest time in Holland. They wished to continue that tradition. They invited Massasoit to join them. He came with 90 hungry Indians. They might have wiped out the latter, but the Indians went and killed 5 deer, which they brought to the plantation and bestowed on our governor, Winslow writes. We don't know exactly what the Pilgrims cooked, but ducks, geese, turkey, clams, eels, lobster, squash, wild grapes, dried fruit, and cornbread are all good guesses, along with watercress and other salient herbs, Winslow says. Our governor sent 4 men on fowling, that so we might, after a special manner, rejoice together after we had gathered the fruit of our labors. They 4 in one day killed as much fowl as, with a little help besides, served the company almost a week. That's as detailed as he gets, with this addition. For 3 days we entertained and feasted. That's all we know. That's it. Except a brief word from Governor William Bradford, who doesn't write specifically about a feast with the Indians, but does say that they began now to gather in the small harvest they had. All summer there was no want, and now began to come in store of fowl as winter approached, of which this place did abound. And besides waterfowl, there was a great store of wild turkeys, of which they took many, besides venison, etc. Besides, they had about a peck of meal a week to a person, or now, since harvest, Indian corn in that proportion. Did they eat cranberries, which were thick in the nearby bogs, or pumpkin pie? Not likely. You need sugar for those dishes, and they didn't have any. As devout Christians, the Pilgrims gave thanks before each meal, but this was a harvest festival, not primarily a celebration of thanks to God. And it probably came at the end of September. Still, all in all, the spirit was the same as today's November festival, where we give thanks, we remember, we enjoy, and we eat. The first national Thanksgiving was actually proclaimed by George Washington in 1789, but Thanksgiving was not celebrated officially again until Abraham Lincoln, urged on by magazine editor Sarah Josepha Hale, decreed a national holiday in 1863. Since then, it's been turkey all the way. You can see the picture there. The Pilgrims give thanks as they sit down to eat with their Indian guests in this early 20th century American painting. No one really knows if they ate outdoors or not. Now, if you listen to that, you hear the governor say that year they caught a bunch of wild turkeys, which there were a plenty of. So, to me, I would say they ate turkey on Thanksgiving. But you're going to hear other historians who disagree, and that's fine. All right, guys. Well, that's today's lesson on Thanksgiving. Sorry for making you hungry for Thanksgiving. All right, bye. Bye, guys. Happy Thanksgiving.
Bye.